Welcome to the cabin of my wife's Suzuki Jimny. My name's Jonny Smith. This is the Late Break Show. This is episode number 5 of Projects of the People, which is a little thing born out of really wanting to use the platform of this YouTube channel to give you guys with your vehicles the chance to showcase them. What have you got in the garage? What are you working on? What have you bought? Why do you like it? Why do you own what you own? I absolutely have loved seeing all of these so far, and if you haven't watched the previous episodes, I will put them all in the description of this video, and there's a massive variety of stuff. Honestly, eclectic is absolutely what you're going to get here. So without further ado, let's crack on with this episode of Projects of the People. We're going to kick off with a cluster of clips all centered around sentiment. Why? Because all 3 of these people have bought these cars not once but twice. They've sold them and regretted it, and then tried to hunt them down and buy them again. And I love that romantic hopelessness, automotive romance. So without further ado, have a look at this. We've got a classic Mini, a classic Beetle, and a BMW E30 3 Series.
This is my Volkswagen Beetle, 1974. Second time of owning it. First time was first ever car in 95. Sold it in 98. And then 2013, I found it on eBay as a rolling shell, bit of a wreck, and now here we are some 15 years later. For a while, since end of March, and starts first time every time. Still a bit to do inside the interior, standards, I do a new headlining, so yeah, this is my wee beastie. Wake the dead.
Richard must have had proper hawk eyes to have noticed that that was his Beetle that was just a bare shell on eBay. Hawk-eyed Richard. Well done though, because I think that the colour, the stance, the wheels are just brilliant, and it sounds wonderful. What a lovely Beetle. Love it.
Hi Johnny, this is Adwell from Carmarthenshire. Just going to give you a quick walk around of my Mini Mayfair, or what's left of it anyway. So it's a 1985, had a 1275 MG Metro engine and gearbox in it. Obviously the car's been fully stripped, the engine's actually gone away to be rebuilt, because this is hopefully going to be based on a historic spec rally car once it's all done. So yeah, the main issues we've got is rust, but I actually owned this car in 2005 when I was 18. Sold it after a couple of months, and actually managed to track it down in the end of 2019. So it had sat outside in the garden of some guy's house in Liverpool for 13 years by the time I actually found it and bought it back. So that explains the rust issue that we've got going on at the moment. Passenger side is the worst side. Obviously all the inner wings have gone, been cut off, ready to be replaced. Obviously all that needs to be cut out. The doorstep, absolutely knackered. Rear quarter panel's completely knackered. Floor, again, knackered. A bit more positive, we've already started doing repairs. On this side, got new floor piece on the inside, outer sill, inner sill, new doorstep, so that's coming along nice. Boot floor is next to be done as well. So yeah, bit of a project we've got on our hands, but it's all good fun, isn't it? So we'll just get cracking, and hopefully we'll end up with a good car. Cheers.
Good afternoon, my name is Vasi, I'm from Shropshire. This is my BMW E30 that I've had on and off for the last 5 years or so. I've wanted one of these since I was a little kid. and when I finally was able to get one, I jumped at the opportunity. A few years back, I did the bushes on the back, took the rear end out completely. I've upgraded from drums to discs. I've also powder coated the whole rear end. Then I had to sell the car for change of circumstances, but I managed to buy back just over 12 months ago. In the last 12 months, I've done a full suspension change, so now it's running Bilstein shocks and I-back springs. The whole front end has been completely off. It's had new track rod ends, new bottom arms, new bushes, absolutely everything that you could take off the car is brand new now. It's had a lot of welding done over the years. It's had some paint on the back arches as well as the front wing. At the moment, I'm just changing the top mounts, and at some point in the near future I'm looking to do a M52 engine swap in it, hopefully in the next few months. It's got a full IS interior, which to be honest is in a really good nick. But yes, I've wanted one of these cars for some time now, and when I've finally been able to do so, I've jumped to the opportunity. So thank you very much.
Sometimes ordinary cars can bring an enormous amount of joy. They don't have to be special vehicles. Maybe they've taken you on special journeys. Maybe they've always had your back. Maybe they're just your first car and they're your first taste of proper automotive freedom, and that's exactly what these next 3 cars are all about.
Late Break Show viewers, I'm Jake Bill from Wiltshire, and this is my 1999 Renault Megane Classic 1.6e Liberte edition. Yes, that is a bit of a mouthful to say. Believe it or not, this was my very first car, and technically still is, because, well, it's never left my side really. I will say with this car, my parents owned it from brand new, and when I passed my test in 2014, they said, you can have the car, just all you got to do is pay for the insurance and tax. So from a financial point of view, it made a lot of sense, so that's exactly what I did. It's not your usual car that you'd have at 17, but hey, I like it. It's offered me many miles of motoring freedom. As well as that though, because it's been in my family for so long, it's 22 years old, I'm 24, so we've been on many different family holidays around the country and things like that, and those memories don't just leave you. But I will say with this car, it's quite a rare one now. There's only about 10 left in existence in the UK and 5 of them left on the road according to the How Many Left website. Most of them probably are gone now due to rust. I mean, you can see the arches are not that great. It is a bit of a rolling project at the minute. I do intend to get those sorted because it is quite a rare car. But let's just go and have a look at the interior quickly. On the interior, I've done not a lot really to it. I've added seat covers, heated seat cover, that's quite nice, and an aftermarket radio because I'm a guy who likes his music. I like it a lot. I don't think I could ever bring myself to scrap it or sell it, to be honest. I think it's going to be with me for quite a long time yet.
Hi, I'm Jasper Hare from Bedfordshire. I decided to brave the weather today to give you an insight on my car. This is a 2013 Mitsubishi Mirage 3, finished in a lovely pop green. It has a 3-cylinder 1.2 litre engine. One of the great things about this car is its turning circle. It can turn around in just over 9 metres. That turning circle is quite good for the size of the car.
It is good to see Jasper is so excited about his Mirage's 9-metre turning circle. The fact that he's pleased about it pleases me.
I got this vehicle just before Christmas. Although I haven't driven it yet, I'm looking forward to when I can drive and learn in it. One of my favourite things, as I mentioned, was the colour. The colour is great because I wanted a car that could be easily found in a car park, and with this colour you definitely can. For this length of the car, which is less than 4 metres, it has 5 seats and the boot is reasonably spacious. You've got a 235 litre boot compartment, and then with the seats folded down, it's 600 litres. I have done a couple of things to it in the last month or so, and that is replace the plastic, because that broke, and fixed the bumper or as best as we can with a bracket replacement after the previous owner's damage. One thing I want to do in the future is buy the optional armrest, so I can have an armrest, because you only like internal storage you've got that's not that's hit hideable is the glove compartment. Thank you for listening to this short video on my car. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, my name's Tom Waller, and I am from West Sussex, and I thought I'd give you a quick video, 2 minutes of this Skoda Citigo of mine. Now don't switch off. I know what you're thinking, it might not look anything special to you, however it is to me. Mainly being, the reason being the story of why I bought this car. I bought this car new back in 2015, so now it's the 6th year of ownership as I film in 2021, and I've done nearly 80,000 miles in this car and loved every moment of it. The story of why I got the car, in the first few years of my driving career, had many interesting cars, Renault Sports, Volkswagen, looked into the VW scene for a while, and then eventually I bought loads of ropey old cars because of a strict budget, and eventually had to get rid of, eventually ran out of money essentially, and I had to resort to getting this. Didn't expect anything out of it, very disappointed actually, to be honest, when I first got it, but like I say, I've had so many memories. I've been to Land's End in this car, I've been to Snowdonia in this car, and I've had it since new, so every bit of wear on this car is from me. For example, if I show you inside, there's a wear mark on the steering wheel, and that is just me that's done that, and it's something about that which I really like about the car. Yeah, just brilliant.
From ordinary then to not, because this next bunch we've got have very much been altered by talented home engineers bordering on obsessive. We've got a Chevy LS powered Datsun 240Z in America. We've got a 2CV Citroen van that has double the amount of cylinders that it was born with, and we've got the weirdest chassis swap I've ever seen. Have a look.
Hi, my name is Mark, and this is my 1973 Datsun 240Z, or Fairlady Z, depending on where you are in the world. I'm in the United States, around Charlotte, North Carolina. As you can see, this car has the fiberglass G-nose front end. I bought it as a rolling chassis New Year's Day 2014. I wanted to buy a fun project car to put a Chevy LS V8 in, and I wanted something that handled well and was fairly lightweight. And this car really fit the bill. It had no rust. I've done a lot of the exterior modifications, the fender flares and whatnot, but the paint and the front end were already on it. Currently it's on jack stands. It's been off the road for the better part of 6 months. I'm doing these coilovers and going through all the suspension, new control arms and whatnot. I've got this 4-point roll bar to put in, and my favorite part of the whole car are these 3-piece Compomotive wheels I found on Facebook Marketplace, pretty cheap, and then spent a bunch of money getting them refinished. But I think they really set the car off. They're 17-inch, 9.5-inch wide in the front, 10.5-inch wide in the rear. Here's a couple of pictures of the car when it was on the road last year before I tore it all apart. And the real showpiece of the whole car is this engine. This is a 5.3-liter truck variant of the Chevy LS V8. This one has a cam, headers, bolt-ons, some head work. Makes just under 400 horsepower, and it's mated to a T56 6-speed manual transmission, and it's a lot of fun with the weight of about 2,600 pounds. It's a riot. Interior still a work in progress. Don't have any carpet in there yet. What do you say we make some noise? It's going to be pretty loud. It's still open header. The exhaust is currently off the car.
Welcome to Owl's Garage. The results of the first lockdown was that I tidied up some shelves. Can't find a damn thing now, of course. I used to know where everything was, but not any longer. I also did, however, manage to get out my supply of autocar and motor, which date back to 1973. One day, maybe, I will get round to actually reading them. However, the main occupants of Owl's Garage are Citroen Ami Super, which I've owned since 1984. Presently running a 1220 engine rather than the original 1015. Put the 1220 in to help drag the kids and a camping trailer up the French Alps. Just haven't got round to putting the original back. It sits on the bench, so I could do it. One day. Maybe. And its terrible twin, which is actually not an identical twin, of course. It's an ex-Belgian post office 2CV van, but it sits on an Ami Super chassis, has a 1300cc GSA flat 4 engine and a 5-speed gearbox. Made out of many bits from many cars, it's always one that needs some attention. Recently I managed to make the headlights work again. Now I notice that the instrument lights aren't working, but perhaps you can see why. The wiring loom was originally an extension of a 2CV loom. Then I found it was easier to start with a GS loom and take out the wiring I didn't need. So it's a bit of a beta setup. But it's been like that since 1987, so one day, again, I will get round to sorting it out. In the meantime, it's an as-needs-must repair and maintenance job, but it passes its MOT, so we're all happy. But it's a great fun vehicle, used for dump runs and all the sorts of things that you need such a van for. And there's evidence of where it's been in its long, long life with us. Thank you for watching the first episode from Owl's Garage.
Hello, I'm Tom, and this is my family project. It's a hot rod replica, so it's a 1932 two-door sedan delivery Model B hot rod body, all fiberglass provided by Pro Laminates. It's then based on a Kia Sorrento chassis of all things.
A 1932 Ford hot rod body shell with a Kia Sorrento turbo diesel chassis and engine. That's a marriage I didn't see coming at all.
Reason being that the wheelbase is an inch either way of the original 32 Ford wheelbase, and it's a mix of classic looks with more modern reliability and performance. It's a 2.5 litre turbo diesel engine with the original transmission attached. One other reason for going with the Kia was the XS model came with a limited slip diff in the rear axle from the factory, so it should hook up and go quite well, as well as do some impressive manoeuvres, drifts, donuts, general messing about. It's had some other mods. We've moved the engine back 14 inches, cut each end off the chassis, and have been making a frame to mount the floor and driving seat. Solely intended to be a bit fun and to help my brother have something that he can enjoy driving and cruising the local area. And this is my 1960 Mercury Comet station wagon. I commonly get mistaken for the Ghostbusters. I can't think why, but I love the car. Some of my favourite external features are the tailgate winding handle, which you lower the glass to open the tailgate, which in torrential rain is not very fun. Lincoln style push button door handles, which I designed and had made. These give the car a 60s custom touch and also prevent me being locked out when the door solenoids refuse to work. In my ownership, I've added things like an electric fan, but overall the car is fairly original. The car is just a pleasure to be behind the wheel. The 3-speed manual column change makes for an interesting juggling act. This car is quite rare, being one of only 18,000 produced. I love it so much. This is my 1970 VW 1302S Beetle. A lot of people will say it's a Beetle, it's not that rare. However, the 1302S model was only made for a 2-year run before they upgraded to the curved windscreen 1303S. I love the sound of the little air-cooled 1600 engine. Other features of the car I like are the tombstone rear lights,
the metal dashboard and D-ring steering wheel, as well as touches like the original radio and unrestored original seats and door cards. This is my first car and I've had it for the best part of 11 years, and fully stripped the car, did all the work myself including the paint, and finally got it back on the road in 2018. This car is part of a family and I'm never going to part with it.
The last video on this episode I have given to a chap called Andy Devine, and he is building the most incredible Mark II Escort that I've ever seen. Incredible genre straddling styling and detail. So hand it straight over to you. Let's go into Andy's gazebo.
Hi, and welcome to my 1978 Ford Escort Mark II Mexico, known as the Mexicist. The car has been all built in-house by a friend and myself, and it combines some JDM hues, some NASCAR hues, some drag car hues, all mixed in with a lot of carbon fibre. Powered by a 2-litre Cosworth YB engine, producing about 550 horsepower. It sits on BBS 3-piece split rims with centre locks, and it's all mixed in with an awful lot of carbon fibre, 3D printing, modern electronics, CAN bus, has a 6-speed Quaife sequential gearbox hooked up to an air shifter. Knacker ducts, side exit exhaust. The yellow windows give it a bit of a 70s appeal. Rear mounted oil tank and fuel tank, and obviously carbon fibre boot, roof, lightweight Lexan windows, lightweight carbon fibre bonnet, carbon fibre dashboard. Everything that can be stripped of weight has been stripped of weight. I hope you like my car.
I've said it before, but the commitment and the fascination of these Projects of the People videos have just been so good to watch. For me, they've been really heartwarming, and hopefully for others, they've been quite inspiring to see that we're all into slightly different things, but we're all united by a love of bizarre or fast historical machinery. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a thumbs up. And maybe you can put a comment in below, and if you haven't already subscribed to The Late Break Show, please subscribe. Hold tight now for the 6th episode of Projects of the People. And if you've sent in one of these, thank you for sending it in.